Together we light up the night.
Hey guys, we have some breaking news, and I think it's going to be rather unfortunate for the peace and tranquility of the UK. But during the early morning of today, around 11 o'clock, a man was arrested after stabbing a child and an adult in a busy London square. Police say that two of the victims were taken to a major trauma center, and the extent of their injuries were not immediately cleared. So this is right around it's Leicester Square, although it's spelled light. Look, they're trying to trick me, but it's Leicester Square. It's where this giant TWG tea store is. There's a Lego store next to it and a big M&M store. So this is a tourist trap area. A man has been arrested after an 11-year-old girl and a 34-year-old woman were stabbed in central London, London's Metropolitan Police say on Monday. The attack occurred in Leicester Square, a magnet for tourists with shops, theaters, and cinemas. The square and surrounding area have an estimated 2.5 million visitors a week. Police say the two victims were taken to a major trauma center and the extent of their injuries was not immediately clear. Now, the stabbing occurred as Britain, the UK is on edge after violence for the last week after the stabbing 2 weeks ago, and it was only 2 weeks ago, of that entire class of little girls at a Taylor Swift concert, where 3 girls unfortunately lost their lives. That sparked a lot of social unrest because there are, working class Londoners and working class people all around the UK that definitely feel that their voices are not being heard. I do not condone going out and acting like to use the term that Keir Starmer said, football hooligans and degenerates. I think that that completely destroys your point. I think that whatever, moral high ground that you have in showing maybe a two-tiered police or anything like that is destroyed when you go out and cause shenanigans. And the people that are causing violence and shenanigans should be held to the law. But it is rather rich when the UK police can no longer, solve burglaries. Their turnaround rate for major crimes, as far as solving them, is abysmal. But they're very sure to make, well aware that if you say something cheeky online, well, it's it's going to be, jail time for you. Send out stickers that, maybe don't have the current zeitgeist on it. That's 2 years in prison for you. So there is a clear sort of disconnect between the ruling upper middle class. And again, the class systems are much different in the UK. You know, people that we would consider upper class here in America are still middle class in the UK because they're not landed gentry. That being said, you have a large population that has voted against increased immigration, and yet the government continues to increase immigration, and there's going to be issues. I do worry that this is going to cause more unrest. I hope that they I think that what happened the last time is because there was no information given, so people maybe jumped to conclusions that if you notice patterns, hey, this seems like a pattern of people that seem to do things, shouting certain phrase, you know, it would not be a giant mental leap of craziness to assume that this might have been the stabbing in the dance class might have been linked to maybe people that don't really like the UK, the West, and everything else, and like to target soft targets, if you get my drift without me saying the word, because YouTube doesn't like it. Now, there is no link as far as they can tell right now between this stabbing and the stabbing at the Taylor Swift themed dance event. Um, what I will say is that I don't think the new prime minister, Keir Starmer, has been able to talk to the common British working class person that feels unheard by their government. He has basically labeled those who maybe are noticing patterns, are noticing a change in the way of their life as, you know, all the ists and phobes, and that is no way to get the people who feel unheard to trust the government. So I do worry if you are in the UK, please stay safe. I don't want people to go out and do shenanigans. I think that destroys your point. I think that, you know, not being able to say certain things out loud, excusing certain giant patterns of crime committed against young children because of fears of being called Islamophobic have led to people in the UK just about being done. And unfortunately, you can only push a population so far, and you can only tell people that noticing patterns, noticing things that are going on in their own country, are bad before people don't care anymore about what you label them. They are worried for their children. They are worried about their safety. They are worried about the cultural change that is happening in their country. And the more you try to make that kind of talk, make that kind of discussion verboten, the more it's going to fester. Direct sunlight is absolutely the best disinfectant. Let's have real conversations. I know they're going to be uncomfortable. I know people aren't going to agree, but I think 87% of most people would like better for their family, better for their community. And I think that if we all could sit down and have these conversations, in a constructive way with people that don't assume that, whichever side you're on means you're deficient morally, then we could take the temperature down. But the way that the new government, Keir Starmer, the Labour Party, are approaching this is in no way going to help ease tensions, and I am worried for people that are in the UK. Um, don't join shenanigans. Don't condone those. I know all the YouTubey things where I have to say this is it's bad, okay, okay, it's bad. Rotting is bad, okay. But honestly, you can only ignore a problem for so long before normal people stand up. And when normal people can no longer ignore, can no longer, just let things lie, you will get conflagrations like this. You will get, you know, you will get civil unrest, and I am worried about that. That's why I'm making a breaking news. I know this is more political than I tend to do, and I'm sure that a bajillion other creators have already covered this. But, if you are in the UK or anywhere like that, please be careful. Don't go out, don't do shenanigans. Them things are a trap. Admiral Akbar trap completely. And let's let cooler heads prevail. I mean, hopefully someone will talk to Keir Starmer and see if he can start addressing some of these problems. I know that the Tory government had 14 years and did a jack diddly squat. So I'm not completely sold that any government, Labour or Tory, is going to fix this. But let's try to keep cooler heads, and hopefully we don't see any sort of shenanigans. But I am going to let you guys go so I can go pick up the boy children. Have a wonderful day. I The woman and child are in my thoughts and prayers, and hopefully cooler heads will prevail. Bye, guys.